Hi, I'm Mary Kopczynski, the CEO of Regalytics, and here's your update on this week's 13,047 regulatory alerts. The regulator of the week is the FTC. They are blocking Microsoft's purchase of Activision Blizzard, which is the game company that owns Call of Duty. The regulators don't believe Microsoft will stick to its promise to make sure the game is not limited to Microsoft products only, because in the past, Microsoft has made that promise but not followed it. This is a $69 billion acquisition, and it is the largest ever in gaming and in Microsoft history. So there's a lot at stake. The FTC is also proposing to change rules for eye doctor. After reading more than 800 public comments, the FTC thinks the doctor should give the script to the patient and prove in writing that the patient got the script. Otherwise, there's some eye doctors who've been saying that you essentially have to buy glasses or contacts from them to get the script. The topic of the week is a world divided because there were multiple instances of the same event eliciting different responses. First up, I know again, but electric vehicles. So while we have the House, the U.S. House, proposing to amend the IRS code to allow for a tax credit for off-road electric vehicles, so think like three-wheelers and dune buggies, the items most frequently used in the less densely populated parts of the country. Meanwhile, Montana, with lots of space and lots of love for things like three-wheelers and dune buggies and a total love of freedom from regulation and low taxation, is proposing two laws that are taxes on EV charging stations and any electric vehicle registered in the state. I mean, what are they smoking? Okay, yeah, that was a shameless transition, but congrats to Connecticut because you're going to be enjoying adult use cannabis beginning January 10th. And speaking of smoking, California had a big victory with the Supreme Court that basically the Supreme Court did not block California's ban on flavored tobacco sales in the state. Meanwhile, Texas is loosening the requirements for tobacco companies so they don't have to report the amount of nicotine in their products to the Texas authorities. Moving on. Dude, FTX. Okay, from my vantage, there are now 54 alerts from 29 regulators around the world. And this week, the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs called the former CEO to testify before Congress, and he didn't respond. And lo and behold, now he was arrested in the Bahamas. Also dramatic, TikTok. 3 governors this week put an outright ban on TikTok being onboarded to any government devices. That would be Texas, Utah, and Maryland. And there is also a New York State Senate bill to do the same for all New York government devices. Juul Labs settled on a $434 million AG fine for 33 states and territories that resolves an investigation into their marketing and sales practices towards underage users. The attorney generals allege that Juul relied on age verification techniques that it knew were ineffective. Okay, what else do you need to know? Both Basel Committee and the Fed talked about climate risk and their new proposed rules around it, so the stuff is getting real. There's a bill in the House putting out guarantees for loans associated with cyber upgrades for small businesses. And last but not least, New York signed a law that gets rid of the term alien when they actually mean not a citizen of New York. And that's it this week for Regalytics, so I will see you next Wednesday.